Hello everyone, I am Hacklebeast, and this is Twitch TV Gambit Cup semifinals between GT and Reps. For the first matchup, we will have GT's South Park. South Park? Is there capital P in South Park? Yes, there is. Capital P in South Park. As the Red Zerg, and he's in the bottom right location. And in the top left cross positions, we have Reps Tama. I believe there's just a capital T in Tama. Yep. Alright, good stuff. And the map is Gladiator. So, this is the number 1 team in Gambit Cup versus the number 6 team, where the number 1 team was GT, with the smallest roster in Gambit Cup, but it's just so stacked with talent. Every single person on their roster has a chance of taking a game off of pretty much every foreigner out there. And then as the underdog, we have Reps, but it's underdog used loosely because, I mean, they have Project and Tama and DeWalt and Gotunk, so as much as that makes you an underdog, yeah, they're the underdogs in this. So, South Park, excuse me, South Park, interestingly, is a player who goes 9-pool in nearly every match of every game. Doesn't matter versus Terran versus Zerga versus Protoss, but this game he's going to go for a 12-pool. So, if I had been playing against South Park, I would have blindly gone for 2 cannons. Just because that's the kind of gameplay he does. But, Tama is going to be able to get the scout off relatively quickly. He can throw down the Nexus instead of throwing down immediate cannons. As South Park just throws down his spawning pool. These two teams have played each other twice, obviously, during the course of the regular season, going 1-1. In the Winners League format, Gotunk came out of nowhere and 3-killed GT, which was quite impressive. Gotunk, well, I mean, he beat a lot of good people in killing those 2 players from GT. It was Michael and Eric and one other person. I want to say Jumper. Michael, Eric, and Jumper. And then in the other set, it was a classic style best of 7. Reps won the first 3 games, but then lost the next 4 in a row to just barely lose it 4-2 in a quite the close set back from beginning of the season. Now that's interesting. South Park is going for a close hatchery and already has 6 slings out. Does he have gas yet? He does have gas. Okay. A close hatch seems to indicate that he wants to be going for a more aggressive play. If you don't have a lot of units out onto the field, it's just too hard to hold this with any kind of SimCity and lurkers, because there are way too many attacking paths that Protoss can come from. Units are not getting choked up, so lurkers don't do very much splash damage. It really means that if South Park is not going to be very aggressive this game, that base is going to become a liability once Tama pushes out with any kind of real sized army. So, South Park snuck in with a drone before the cannons managed to finish, but Tama is just going to chase it with 1 probe. Without an error in micro, the probe will beat the drone 1-on-1. So Tama really doesn't need to pay attention to this anymore, and the shields will regenerate faster than health. So South Park's not going to be able to beat the probe. What I'm trying to say is Tama can just ignore that, and he doesn't need to be constantly microing it or making sure that the drone does anything funny. Eventually, it's going to die. And on the other side, South Park is chasing out Tama's scout. Now South Park is building... Ooh, South Park's building a lot of links. South Park's building a lot of lings, and has speed finished? Speed has finished. Alright. Alright, so South Park did not go for a 9 pool because he is Zergling busting. 3 hatch speedling bust. Tama sees it coming, and he... Ooh, that's an interesting decision, building a goon. I'm not sure how I like that, but we'll see how it works out for him. Here come the lings. They're going to try to focus down some of the probes, just try to break through the wall, but pretty good micro from Tama. They haven't been able to get in yet. Those 2 cannons are doing a lot of damage, and most of the lings are actually going to die. All of the lings are going to die, in fact, and only loses 3 probes. A great defense from Tama. And South Park still does have a good number of speedlings, but he threw away at least half of his attacking force right there. And that does not bode well for the rest of this game. He hasn't even started his lair. He's only on 3 bases without... Oh, excuse me. He does have it. He does have his lair over in his natural. Here goes bust attempt number 2. Only 1 probe this time, so it's going to be a little bit easier. And now the lings are going to be able to get in. They are going to take out the zealot and the cannon. Still not horrible amounts of damage. He's thrown away 3, maybe even more than 3 control groups of lings and killed 3 probes, a zealot, and a cannon so far. And while you don't need to be exactly 1 for 1 in minerals from Protoss, you definitely need a better ratio than what he's getting right now. Well, Tama's going to rebuild, build 2 more cannons and pull a lot of probes. If nothing else, South Park is going to delay a lot of mining time here because Tama's just forced to constantly keep probes here. And here comes attack number 3. Going to try to focus down the injured goon first. It was clogging up a lot of that wall, and now the lings are going in again, but they're getting a little bit stuck here. They don't know exactly what to target. Now finally finding a hole through, but most of them have already gone down. And... a goon and a probe for yet another 14, 16 lings. And South Park is just continuing to rally him in. Is he following up Mutalisk after this? Yes, it is a Mutalisk follow-up. Now this Corsair, I don't think the Corsair's actually quite gotten over here to see the Spire. So, so Tama's under the impression that it's just all-in lings at this point. Does he have cannons around the mineral lines? No. Yes, he does have cannons around the mineral lines. Okay, he must have seen the Spire at some point. Or at least suspected it. Either way, he will be safe. He certainly sees those Mutalisks now. So phase 2 of South Park's bust attempt, he could go in with Zerglings plus Mutalisks and try to focus down those cannons really quickly, or he could just use the Mutalisks for harass. But Tama has cannons in pretty good positions. I mean, this one here is in the perfect position, albeit only 1 cannon. And these 2 cannons are going to do a pretty good job of covering these mineral patches, especially since the Mutalisks can't get any higher. Those minerals are pressed right up against the edge, so it's not as if the Mutalisks can hide behind it. And Tama does have some Corsairs out. I don't think that's a scouting probe. I think that probe is just there to... or that probe just eventually killed the drone, and he forgot to send it back to minerals. But either way, it's taken out. Second cannon going down here, which is a little bit more of a surprising spot for the cannon to go down. I would have expected him to try to put it here, ish. It's going to be a little bit farther away, so a little bit harder to cover each other, but still be close enough to generally cover it. And you're protecting the gas and those corner drones on the mineral line. So, whatever. It doesn't look like it's going to make a difference though. South Park pulling back from his waves of aggression now. Most of his units are coming back, and now throwing down an evolution chamber. Already has the Hydralisk den, and getting a fast lurker upgrade off of only 3 bases, and it's 3 bases where this one is not a gas base. So South Park is going to be really starved for gas for quite a while here. And ooh, does he only have 2 on gas? That's only 2 on gas. With getting armor upgrades and getting lurkers and the Mutalisk, so it's not as if he had been. So it's not as if he had been saving up gas. Yeah, that's... You should probably fix that. Does he have 2 on this gas too? No, he has 3 on that gas. Okay. Oh, are we discussing how to pronounce Tama? I like Tama. Obviously, as I have been saying Tama this entire time. If Tama shows up and tells me he wants it pronounced another way, I will pronounce it that way. But for the time being, it's going to be Tama. Yeah. And this is what I was trying to describe in the beginning of the game before the Zergling bust. Just any kind of defensive structures you put here are just going to be so vulnerable from any direction. The Dragoons will also have high ground, most likely, if he throws down any more. It's going to be so hard to defend without huge numbers of units in the middle of the map. And that is what South Park's going for, but I don't know, he's only on 3 bases. Getting up a 4th base now, hasn't quite populated it yet. We'll say +1 finally finished for Tama, so he's going to move out with his Corsairs. There are a couple of pockets of Scourge here, but Tama should be able to kill them. Those Corsairs need to be a little bit closer together. That's slightly too fragmented to kill off Scourge as they come in. But once they start attacking an Overlord, they'll all clump up. There we go. And he's going to ignore the single Spore Colony. Oh, Scourge coming in. Is he not? Oh, he's focusing on the Mutalisks and accidentally kills a bunch of the Scourge, but some of the other ones still manage to come and get hits. Loses another Corsair. I believe that's 5 left, but 5 +1 Corsairs, enough to do a lot of damage to these Overlords, especially with such few Hydralisk numbers at this point. And he's taking out a lot of them. Supply block 61 out of 36, and there are still Corsairs left to do damage. Ooh. Continuing to go down, managed to get up to 44 supply, but there's going to go another 8, but back to 36. And it's just a map. None of these Overlords are protected. These two here, just by that one Spore Colony, Tama could completely ignore that Spore Colony and just take on the Overlords. As he's doing, there goes another one, there goes another one, down to only 29 supply. This is going to be really detrimental to South Park, as he really wanted to gear up for an attack here. And ooh, but that's a mistake. Okay. That's like a Scourge and a half worth of damage unnecessarily. A little bit of a shame, but here are all the remaining Overlords. All 5 of them. Oh, he needs to come back. He loses one of his Corsairs, so it's only down to 4, but he's going to be able to kill off all of these. Oh, he's going to be able to kill off all of these. South Park, 61, 45, supply blocked once again. I do believe he managed to get 2 supply off before all of his Overlords died. Because he was at 56, and I think he went from 56 to 58, and he didn't just stay at 58, but still. Lots and lots of damage from the +1 Corsairs, already paid for themselves now. Just count on how many kills these ones have. That's 12 on those 3, but he had up to 7 at one point, so there are a lot more killed there. They also killed off a bunch of Scourge. They also killed off the remaining Mutalisks. Ooh, and Tamas feel confident to expand without actually attacking. That's just how good of a position he thinks he's in, and he is in quite a good position at this point. Already has an Archon, already has some Storm, so this attack is going to be quite fierce. Goon range finishing up now, and that is for Templar energy. Well, South Park does have a lot of lurkers, but this base is not very well defended by lurkers. Ooh, South Park has to make a really hard decision here. And if he can get a good flank on this, it's small enough that a flank is possible, and he might be able to do a lot of damage, but I don't think that's what South Park's going for, as he only has a couple lings out on the map. Looks more like for sniping Templar, or a probe transfer or whatnot. They are going to try to shut down this base, though, after discovering it, and they will get down 1 cannon. Any probes? No probes. No. What I was saying, though, is that South Park has kind of a hard decision to make. It's not clear at this point whether he can actually defend this base. He could certainly defend a choke. If he was to pull all of his units back to these 2 chokes and just turtle up behind lurkers, he could definitely hold them. So does South Park just kind of let this base die, in essence, to Tama's attack? Or does he try to throw his army at it and try to defend it? I think he has to try to defend it, but with reinforcements, he should be able to hold it. He's sending out another hit squad of Lings. It looks just short of 2 control groups this time. Maybe it is 2 control groups. And, oh, going to run right into the Protoss army. The Archon does get there. Whiffs the storm, but still. Managing to kill some Lings. Doesn't lose anything. A very goon-heavy army from Tama. Which is a little bit surprising. The goon-heavy army is a lot better at dealing damage to SimCities. But SimCities really aren't the issue for here. And he had Corsairs to see that there wasn't a SimCity set up here. This place can't be SimCity'd. So I think that a little bit more focus on Zealots and Archons right now would be a stronger army for this situation. Oh, we're going to find out. Oh, all the Zealots clumping up into the Lurker field. He's going to lose all of his Zealots almost immediately. And now it is just down to the Goons. And Tama's going to have to pull back. That was a mistake, throwing away all of his Zealots on a couple of Lurkers there. I don't think he realized the extent of how spread out South Park was. And there's not even an Observer with this army. How much longer until the first Observer is coming out? Ooh, pack of Speedlings catching. I don't even think those are Speedlings anymore. I think those are Cracklings. But a pack of them catching some Zealots. Okay, he does have an Observer coming out. I don't know if he already has one. I don't see one with the army though, and that's there's one. And he's gonna come back again with a basically pure Goon army. He doesn't even have a lot of storms, just one Templar with 2 storms. South Park's still spamming the Lings. They are Cracklings, it's a hive. And I assume, yeah. I'm getting the Ultralisk Cavern though, and once again, that's an Ultralisk Cavern on very little gas. He's only on 3 bases, trying to take a hidden base here. But 3 gas bases for Ultralisks. It's possible, especially if you're a good enough player with Cracklings, but controlling these large number of Cracklings off of 4 bases can be quite difficult for a player. Now, South Park does have great Ling control, so we'll have to see. Oh, this is the problem with big Goon armies. You just get engagements with just against pure Zergling, and it does not end well for the Goons. You'll win the battles, but you sacrifice far too much for something that's essentially free for Zerg, or very close to free. Robo support. Does he have? No, he doesn't have the Robo facility down at any of his bases yet. So that will be for Reavers at a much later point. So these Corsairs chilling. All right, what kind of upgrades we have? We have plus something just about to finish. Is that plus 2? It's about to finish. Yeah, plus 2 about to finish. So 2/2 upgrades for the Lings, pretty good. And the Ultras coming out, they are just about to get their armor upgrade. So this is going to be quite the strong army of Cracklings and Ultralisks, even without Defilers. But a lot of it's going to come down to the control. Can he attack at the right angles? Can he make sure that his units don't go in big lines? Alright. Tama does find one of these bases. He did stop this hidden expo as well. There's yet another hidden expo here. South Park expanding all over the map at this point, but Tama doing a good job of shutting them down before they can really get populated. But here comes the army. Ultra... The High Templars see it. They need to storm because they won't survive if they don't. Now... Pretty good storms, but they don't catch a lot of the Zerglings, which is really what he wanted to catch there. If it's just Ultralisk, the Dragoons are going to do a pretty good job. And now here come the Lings. Last couple storms going down. He did not quite storm his own Observer. Oh, there we go, storm the Observer. But the Observer's not going to matter in this battle. And the Ultralisks and Zerglings are going to be able to crush this army. It's a very devastating composition for the type of army Tama has right now. Just that pure Goon. It can't quite stand up to that level of Cracklings, and he needed immaculate storms to take them all out. Did not get them. So going to lose that battle now. And all of a sudden, South Park, at 145 supply compared to 142 of Tama, he's taken the supply lead. And Tama does not have a very large army out in the middle of the map. Ooh, getting shield upgrades. Interesting. For 311. Switching into some Dark Templars. Dark Templars are quite good versus Ultralisks, especially in this situation, where, as you can see, South Park is not keeping Overlords around the maps. so he won't be able to kill any of them off. I don't even see any overlords moving. It's possible he didn't get speed. I would have to assume he's gotten speed at this point, but we haven't seen it necessarily. Just hasn't had to move his overlords in a while now. He is scouting out these bases, so he knows that they're coming up, but here comes the attack. Now it's going to be South Park's turn to attack a base that's pretty hard to defend. The units are pulling back for Tama, trying to get the units to clump up a little bit more. These are some very nice storms, taking out a lot of the Zerglings, who do a lot of damage to the Ultralisks. Ooh, accidentally double storms there. But it's not going to be enough. All the rest of Tama's units are pulling back. He doesn't have an Overlord here still, so the DTs will be able to, will at least be able to hold this off. And there is a Reaver in back, even if the DTs weren't there. Actually, he had more than just one DT. I'm not sure where the other ones went. There weren't any splash damage units to kill them. He must have moved them away before the battle started, which would be quite unfortunate. But he will lose this base. Lurker's coming in now, and Lurker's going to set up a contain. The shuttle does not have anything in it for scouting, possibly. Ooh. He does not have the Reaver damage upgrade, though. It's a very nice upgrade to have. Well, these bases are going to be... This front's going to be really secure. And I don't think that Ultra Ling is going to be able to get through this. The Lurkers should be able to take out these front buildings, but with enough Reavers and enough DTs, I think that's safe. This base... ooh, he had more Reavers queued up here, but he canceled them. Anyway, one DT coming out. He has an Observer buddy to help him spot the Lurkers, and there is not an Overlord in sight. South Park's going to lose 3 of his Lurkers before finally taking him back. And there are the cows. There are the cows. Ooh, he doesn't have Overlord speeds. He's now researching Overlord speed. That is a very late Overlord speed, and he just didn't need it before. Oh, but it's going to cost him this base. Tama saw that there was no detection with the Observer. Just sent a DT to take that out. Very nice. The Overlord's now finally arriving after drones have evacuated, and he's already taken out the hatchery. This base as well. Okay, so that's where his 2 DTs went from. I thought he had 3 DTs before that battle started, but he sent 2 of them out to take out these 2 bases, and that was a very nice move. Is that Observer speed? That is Observer speed. Interesting. Observer speed, not the most common of upgrades, but he got it. I wonder if that's why he got the early robotic support, so that he could get a... No, Observer speed's not research there. It's the research of the observatory. Never mind. I was thinking of shuttle speed, which he also has. Alright. Very fast non-combat air units. And South Park's going to try to expand again, this time to the right side. He seems to have more of a presence on the right side of the map, so it might be a little bit easier for him to defend than these bases all the way over here. But at the same time, he is expoing towards Tama, and their line of expos are going to meet in that top corner. So a lot of the concentration from both players' units are going to be on that side. But here comes South Park with a huge attack, just masses of red all over the minimap, swooping in. And now South Park knows where the army is. He's going to be able to get the best attack possible, and oh no! Tama's running for the high ground. He will at least be on the high ground, but he is completely surrounded by red on all sides. Great storms going down. Going to kill off most of the Lurkers, but that's not the issue here. The issue is the Reavers dropping 4... or the issue is the Ultralists dropping 4 Reavers to try to take care of them. They're going to be able to do enough damage, but can the Ultralists get to them fast enough? It's looking like... Yes, the Ultralists will be able to get there fast enough, but the Reavers do survive, and it looks like almost all the Ultralisks are going to be going down. Just 3 of them remain from the initial attack. More reinforcements coming up. So, South Park is going to win that battle, but he's going to cost him a lot more. He's now behind in supply just by a little bit, and he was a lot ahead before that attack, but he still has a good number of Ultralisks, a good number of supporting units, so he's still dangerous. He's a dangerous presence out on the map. Tama just needs to be really careful before moving out, and oh wow. The double Reaver drop. Using that Corsair to tank some Scourge hits. Man, that hatchery goes down so fast. And got the drone. Why not? Oh. But he didn't get that drone. Alright. Okay. Well, Tam is doing a great job at this point of just stopping South Park from expanding, but he's not doing it with a conventional army and just attacking and having a dominating presence. He's doing it with DT harass, with Reaver harass. And you know what? That's essentially doing the same thing. South Park does have a lot of map control, and map control will get him a good deal, but if he can't secure these expos, map control really isn't doing what it needs to do. Mined out in the main, almost mined out there, and oh, another DT, this time with 11 kills. And the DT, it's not going to be able to kill off either the Spore or the Sunken, so it's just going to get out of there. Very nice. Not killing off that expo, but killing off a lot of drones, stunting South Park's economy. And here comes another attack from South Park. The Reavers are not in the best of positions in that they're kind of separated from the army, but those were some great storms, taking out a lot of the lower units, scourging the shuttle. It didn't have the Reavers in it, so the shuttle isn't terribly expensive, and South Park's just going to get crushed in that engagement. Tama has, both players actually have great upgrades, 332 compared to, this is 3.5. For those Ultralisks. Doesn't have any Hydralisk attack upgrades, just because that's not the early game he was trying to play. But Tama is going to be able to secure this for the time being. If this army gets too far away, the Reavers aren't going to be enough on their own. So he still needs to be a little bit careful, but still managing to take another base, which he kind of needs. This base is getting rather low, and he'll only be on 1 after that one's mined out. That is a lot of Ultralisks. I'm rather surprised South Park hasn't tried to take this expo, just because it's going to be easier for him to defend than some of his other ones. It doesn't have to worry about DTs anymore for this base than he does this one. I guess it's going to be a little bit harder to defend against Reaver harass, but another engagement. South Park has a pretty good angle, but he doesn't have the full extent of his army there, so Tam is going to be able to win once again, losing a lot of those expensive Ultralisks. And South Park, what's his gas count looking like? He has enough gas to replace an, oh, a mistake from Tama, allowing all of his Reavers to get taken out by Cracklings. Ooh, that is a huge blow. He didn't have any shuttles to pick up the Reavers, but still, he needs to keep the army a little bit closer to defend against Cracklings like that. And here, well, here comes 3 more reinforcement Reavers. I thought the shuttles were just swooping in to replace the shuttles that he initially lost, but no, they're bringing a whole new batch of Reavers with them. But once, he's keeping them a little bit too far away from the army. He can't afford to continuously lose Reavers, and the Scourge coming in. Oh, no, the Scourge stopped just a little bit too short. Not going to be able to pick off that shuttle. Really, the Reavers are the backbone of this army. South Park can win engagements if Tama doesn't have enough Reavers with him. So the Scourge could really influence the turn of the game right here. And once again, we have Scourge getting dangerously close to those shuttles. There's no anti-air around the shuttles. Nope, Scourge heading away. Scourge heading away. Dark Templar, looking for a base to mess up, but South Park hasn't expanded down here yet. I understood why at the beginning he went for Defilers before Ultralisks, because there was definitely a time where Crackling Ultra was going to be the best composition he could have, and he could do a lot of damage with it when he didn't have so much gas. But at this point in the game, I think that he should try to incorporate some more Defilers into his army. Defilers are really good, and Tam has shown that he's had a lot of goons. I mean, they won't help versus the Reaver so much, but even Plagues would be nice at this point. At the same time, South Park is going for a very high APM army with so many cracklings in every engagement. So it's understandable if you don't want to try to devote some of your 190 APM towards getting perfect spells off. Another attack coming in, but this is not a very large army, and there's enough Reavers to easily deal with this. Storms take out all the Lings, and Reavers will kill off almost all the Ultralisks. Well, half the Ultralisks anyway. Running back the other direction, though. Oh, Reinforcers coming up from the backside. Are they going to be able to pick off some of these Reavers? No! Nice Reaver micro. Going to get off some final shots before being picked up, and some damage taken on all of them, but none of them will die. And South Park loses his army once again. GG from South Park. Tama wins game number 1. Very nice. So, game number 2. Ooh. Game number 2. Jumper versus Project. Alright. Alright, let's see this one. In the bottom right, we have GT's Jumper as the green Protoss. In the bottom left, we have Rep's Project. Here we go. As the red Terran. These are two players that if you've been following Foreign Brood War at all, you should definitely be familiar with them. Project being the best Russian player, best Terran player. Both of those statements are slightly arguable, but general consensus is going to tell you best Russian player overall, best Terran player overall. Just very strong and very high APM. It's not always above 600, but it's certainly always above 350, which is just about pro gamer level. Very nice. And on the other side we have Jumper, who likes DTs. Likes DTs a lot. Very public in his affinity for playing against Terran players, because he can use DTs against them even more effectively than the other two races. Now this is a rematch of the Ace from when GT and Reps played first time around, back in week whenever. I don't remember week. It was somewhere around week 6. Week 5 through 7, somewhere in there. Anyway, and Jumper was actually able to get the upset over Project. So, we will see. I don't know. I used to have a little button where I could hit the button and then like Jumper's MS Paint drawing of a DT popped up. I don't know if I still have that button. I don't think I do, which is a shame, man. Because if Jumper had gone for DTs and it beat Project, I would feel inclined to use that. Anyway, both players scouted in the wrong direction, but Jumper is going to have to get all the way around the map before finally finding Project. Project should see the probe from Jumper, but actually, just seeing the probe from Jumper isn't going to be enough of an indication. He might still be going in the wrong direction. I wasn't even paying attention anyway, still gonna check out that base. Actually, Jumper could be just sending out a really late scout. That is theoretically possible. First Dragoon on the way, range on the way for Jumper. Project with Factory first. But he doesn't have a wall here. There's no wall, there's no bunker either. Which is a little bit concerning. I mean, he should be able to hold this. Project certainly has the APM, 450, to micro three or four Marines on top of a hill against a goon. But still, and oh, Oh, Jumper. Oh, Jumper. Oh, Jumper, what are you proxying? Are you proxying a robo? I bet you are. It is a robo. We got a proxy robo going down, most likely for those DT drops. Oh yes. Oh yes, we love them DT drops. As long as we does not include Terrans. Because Terrans do not like DT drops. I'm just going to throw it out there, Zergs probably are not a fan of DT drops either, but Terrans and DT drops have had a long, very tragic history. At least for one of those two parties. So, 6-7 Marines versus a couple Dragoons. Going to be able to take out the first probe. Excuse me. And the tank really is going to force the Dragoons away. Project should be a little bit concerned that Jumper waited until 2 Dragoons to coming out. That's not typical. Normally you just send Goons as fast as possible instead of waiting for that many Marines. And Project going to lose a good amount of Marines, actually. Only down to 4. It was a nice micro by Jumper. Uh-oh. Oh, where are they going? Are they going up and around? Okay, they're going up and around. Dropship on the way. Is there DT tech? No, it's not DT tech. It's going to be for proxy reavers. Okay. I was really anticipating Jumper would go DT drops, but no. It's going to be for some proxy reavers. Interesting. Anyway, a lot of this is going to come down to good micro from Jumper here, in which he's doing so far. He's doing very, very nice micro. He needs to take out a lot of these units to slow down Project's push, because if Project gets all the way across the map before those Reavers get out, that could be quite bad for Jumper. But Jumper's does a lot of kills on these units. 1, 4, 2, 1. Yeah, so 8 kills. Hasn't even lost our Dragoon yet. And granted, they were Marine and Mine kills, so not the highest profile of kills, but still, very nice micro from Jumper. Shuttle is done. Reaver is on the way. And, ooh, that's the second factory. There's no eBay. There's the eBay, okay. Okay, there's the eBay. Oh, that turret's not going to be in time. That turret's not going to be in time, and that's the proxy, man. If the Reaver had to be flown all the way over from Jumper's base across the map, maybe the first turret would have been up in time. But now it will not. Shuttle's coming in. He brought a probe. I think the probe is to act as a very cheap version of a zealot to try to tank some tank shots. And oh no, Project! Project's not pulling! Not pulling! Why are you not? Okay. Finally pulls the SCVs away. It's gonna take a hit for, oh, very nice. The tank's turret was moving and dropping at the last moment, and dropping in a nice position, gonna take out the tank. There are a couple Marines left where the shuttle can fly away from them, do nice micro. That Reaver already has so many SCV kills, like up to 6 or 7 at this point. Drop it and take out that, no. Gonna go straight for the natural. There is a tank here, and drops the probe to eat the tank shot. Ooh, very nice. Very nice micro. Just the very last moment picking up that Reaver. But unfortunately doesn't shoot at the SCVs, shoots at the Marine instead. So just trading a probe for a Marine isn't the best thing in the world. This pressure is going to allow Jumper to expand, possibly even take a third, if he isn't terribly afraid of vulture grass. Which is not something you should overlook. Project known for his vultures. But finally, gonna be able to get some turrets down. And here come the Reavers dropping in. None of these tanks are sieged. And going to lose one Reaver, trading a Reaver for a tank. That's not the best of trades. Project now doing a very good job of defending against this. Jumper's gonna have a really hard time finding a hole to poke in. Well, another Reaver on the way, going to get back up to 2, and it looks like Jumper's going to move across the map with his Dragoons. I'm surprised he didn't send any Zealots over there. They're going to be a lot more effective bombs than Probes or Reavers would. Okay. That Goon was getting just a little bit close to that mine. But it's fine. Project now floating out his engineering bay, going to see if there is a proxy over here, and he will find that there is in fact a proxy over here. Goons moving across the map. Project doesn't know about it because of the mines he set down earlier. So now he has to deal with a pretty strong goon attack coming at his front, along with Reavers overhead. How many tanks does he have? 1, 2, 3, 4 tanks at this point? That's not the biggest number of tanks to deal with 8 goons and 2 Reavers. Well, Shell's coming back in, 2 Reavers. I think that the Reavers can actually snipe the supply depot and not be hit by the tanks, which would be a nice move just in the sense of... Oh, I'm going to lose an observer. Nope, he's going to go in for it. Goons streaming through the wall. There are only 2 tanks there, so he's going to eat some hits on the way in, but does manage to get the Reavers down. The shuttle goes down, but so have both of the tanks. SCV's being pulled to fight the Reavers. That's not good. Oh, tanks even on the high ground do manage to take out one of the Reavers, trying to retreat with the other one, just getting it out of range of the other tank. And yes, he is going to be able to keep that Reaver alive, forcing more tanks to come down from Project, and the Natural is in a lot of danger. He's lost so many SCVs. The tank is in range, though, taking out this Reaver. The other Reaver will go down, and oh no, the Goons are bugging out. Get out of there. Goons now finally retreating. That Dragoon ate a spider mine on the way in. That bug right there was because the Goons naturally want to shoot at the unit that's attacking, but they were out of range, so that bugs out Brood War AI. Wouldn't have been able to get very much else, but maybe an extra SCV if he had been focusing that. But Project will manage to stabilize. He's lost yet more SCVs, though. So many SCVs going down, upwards of 14, maybe? 14-ish? Citadel now for Jumper. Is that going to be for Zealot leg speed? I have to assume it's for Zealot leg speed. And not immediately for Templar. No, it's going to be for Templars. Oh, to speed lots. Ooh, maybe it's for neither of those. Going Stargate as well. So fast arbiters? I'm not sure fast arbiters are the solution here. Well, you don't really need a solution. You're doing so well, but I think that just a nice speed lot attack would be very effective. He is going to lose. He is going to lose his. He is going to lose his proxy. That's a little bit problematic, but can rebuild the Robo back at his base. Already has the tech back here. There it is. But the Reavers have certainly done their job. Definitely doing more damage than the Robo plus... What? He built 4 Reavers? I think he built 4 Reavers. Alright. Project up to 5 factories. Only 2 of them in the cheese shops. It wouldn't be surprised if we threw down the 6th one relatively soon. That seems to be the point that Project likes to get to. 6 factories with 2 machine shops on them. He's finally at a point in the game where he can start getting his vultures out, and that's really Project's strength. Using 400 APM to just flood the map with vultures, flood the map with mines, and... there we go. Just flood the map with vultures, flood the maps with mines, and just be annoying with them. Like that. Get goons to run into mines. Try to pick off some probes before they can expand. Get into bases to do damage. That's just the way Project plays this. And the mines laid around the map are just so nice. They do so many little things that add up to being really game-changing for Terran. Eventually this thing will die. I mean, that's a problem when it regenerates health and the vulture only does 4 damage a shot. And it has 500 to begin with, not counting shields. Is that +1? Yeah, that's +1 researching for Project. I thought I saw a forge for Jumper. Nope. No, I did not. Yes, I did. It was up here. And that is also +1. Speed almost done. And the first Arbiter coming out. These are relatively fast Arbiters, but Project doesn't have a lot of... Project isn't keeping his army outside on the map, so I'm not sure what the super fast Arbiters are going to help him do so much. he's not getting stasis immediately, and whoa. Oops. There we go. Okay, a little mistake with the probes. He's not getting stasis immediately, which tends to mean that he's waiting for his Arbiter to get to about 100 energy, and then start researching, excuse me, and then start researching recall. And go for a recall, but recall, oh, so much damage to these Zealots. Jumper getting a little bit ahead of himself. He had an observer in the area. Could have just waited a little bit longer, let those pylons tank damage before allowing his Zealots to get so injured. Anyway, recalls are good for when your opponent is somewhere else on the map, but in Project's case, where he is turtled up very well on 3 bases, recall isn't so good in this situation. It will be good if Project does push out right as recall's finishing, but I don't know. Recall isn't the kind of thing you use when you're ahead in a game. It's not really a good device for getting more ahead. It's a device for coming back. Ooh. Okay, he's gonna get stasis instead. Good. Good, I like that. Anyway, as you can see on the mini-map, all the spider mines. Spider mines and 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 vultures and spider mines. Wait, dropship? Saw a dropship. There we go. There's a dropship coming in with a tank and 2 vultures trying to do some damage. There is already a cannon here preemptively from Jumper. Nice of him to have that down. Going to kill off 1 vulture, but the siege tank is out of range of it and will be able to pick it off. But it's going to give the Zealots enough time to get back here. So, good preemptive cannon going to nullify that drop very effectively. Oh, once again, Jumper eating a lot of mines. It's a common theme in Jumper games. He's just not very good with the whole mine clearing concept. And oh. I mean, yeah, in certain situations, clearing out mines and Zealots is what you want to do, but usually it's when you're going in for a big attack, and even then you still spread out your Zealots more. Another drop going in. This one's going to be more effective in stopping mining. How many kills do these vultures have? 5 kills. So pretty good. And, ooh, Jumper going to actually be forced to kill his own pylon to help him get back there to clean out those vultures. Can now send to the goons. There we go. Sending in the goons. I'm really interested to see what he does with this Arbiter. It's almost at max energy. And he's making another one over here. He also has like 8 idle probes, which are invisible. Now you can see them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 idle probes. That's not good. Don't have 10 idle probes. And oh, Jumper! Stop doing that. Stop doing that. Bad Jumper. So many mines. Just keeps getting caught in those peekaboo traps. Hey. Oh, very nice stasises. Getting a lot of the tanks and getting the back tanks at that. Here comes Jumper coming in with his army. Be a little bit better if he didn't lose all that stuff to mines, but he does have a good number of speed lots, and they're able to engage the tanks. Project's vultures are just slightly out of position, but it's not going to matter. He has enough reinforcements coming in from the back that Jumper's going to be forced to pull back. Trying to read the chat, something about other games. I don't know. There's lightning outside. That's cool. It's actually really weird, because I live in California, land of no rain. It's a desert, or at least it was before we turned it into not a desert anymore. Coming in for the EMP does not hit the Arbiter, but does hit a good number of the other units, taking away a lot of that shield health. This is a very clumped up army. It doesn't have a science vessel, so there's no detection. There's no detection. There's no detection. There's no detection. The Arbiter finally goes down, so that's going to be de facto detection. Finally sends in a scan. Going to force Jumper back because he still had too much stuff. But man, that was almost really bad. This close. This close to disaster for Project. These vultures have been here for like the past 9 minutes. Kind of amusing. Well, Jumper on almost half the map. It needs one more base and he will have exactly half. Project is still only on 3 bases though, and those 3 bases are going to be mined out very soon. That one's mined out. This one very low. Some of these patches under 100, and then it's just down to 1. So Project needs to figure out how to take an expansion, and oh, beautiful stasis. And a very nice storm to accompany it with, but not enough units. Jumper consistently without speed lots. Part of the problem is he keeps running his speed lots into mines. But you would need speed lots to really engage that army and do a lot of damage. Oh, or he could use a DT. Or he could use a DT to get 4 kills. That's cool too. He's sending the DT in there just because he could one-shot the tanks. Excuse me. One-shot the tanks that were already damaged from the storm. Very nice. And now here come the speed lots. Not a lot of vultures left, so the speed lots can be able to do a lot of damage, distract the tanks from the dragoons. And unstasis right before the rest of the units die. But I don't think those extra reinforcements are going to be enough. Project, no, Project will be able to get win that battle. Just barely. So, speed vultures coming up, trying to shut down these expansions from Jumper. Jumper's retreated away from the natural here, and it looks like he's gonna let it die, but has did save all the probes and has a couple gateways up here, so he'll be able to save that base along with the cannons there. The Project now mined out. That's natural. Mined out is his main. Project needs to get the expansion up, and he looks like he's gonna try to take it here. With a probe annoying him. DT once again, getting in there. Now, is going to lose to mines, but takes out all the vultures. That's what it really needed to do. Ooh. Oh, Jumper! Jumper! If Jumper loses his game, I am willing to say it was all because he just kept blowing himself up on mines and refused to have his observers leading his army. Oh, Jumper. Jumper, stop doing that. Please stop doing that, Jumper. And I don't think he's going to... I don't think he's losing this game. I think he's doing very well. But if Project was to turn it around, because, I mean, it is Project... It would be because he got lots and lots of mine hits. Just a disturbing amount of mine hits. So, natural mined out for Jumper. It looks like he's transferring his probes away. And he is sending a probe down here. I don't think that's quite in range to see the command center, although he saw those. He should have seen those SCVs. And more mine hits. Another engagement up at the top of the map. A Jumper trying to protect his top right expansions, but not with anywhere near big enough of an army. Going to be forced to pull back once again. Does shut this base down though, forcing it to lift off. Most of the SCVs do get away, and I don't think that Dragoon's going to be able to kill off the command center. And more mines. More mines. Project with a Project with his big army from the battle before, now moving up and now threatening this base. The Jumper trying to protect, and oh, a nice storm from the high ground with that High Templar. Doesn't have any more energy though, could use another one. There are a lot of Goliaths in this army though. Interesting composition from Project. I don't think he scouted a fleet beacon. So just rather peculiar. Oh. Hold position Zealots. Just taking those bullets. And he's going to lose that expansion once again. There are some cannons here. And, oh, there's another DT, though. There's another DT. That's all he needs. Oh, skins the wrong location. There we go. And now, another attack coming down, trying to break this. There are not many tanks left, but there's so many Goliaths that they're acting like vultures. And recall behind the army. I don't know if this was the best place to recall, but he might need to just get reinforcements over there as fast as possible to try to save it. Storm going down, not hitting a whole lot of Goliaths. Is there another storm? No. Or yes, that... I don't even know where that other storm came. Oh, it must have been from up here. More storms going down, and storms are very good for Goliath. Goliaths tend to clump up. They don't have huge amounts of health. And that High Templar's not going to quite have enough energy, but he killed off enough of the stuff that he might still be able to take it out. Reinforcement vultures coming in from Project. If Project can take out this base, it's going to put him in pretty good position. Both players only on one base that's halfway, maybe more than halfway mined out. But Jumper still does have gateways here, and that's what's really going to help him defend. He just needs to continue to pump out stuff, hope to get the lucky breaks, not lose more guys to mines. Oh, man, those mines. Mines are so good. They're so disturbingly good for something that's free. But tank goes down. The Goliaths have gone down. There are only a couple vultures left. And Jumper will very, very barely be able to save this base. And he is still up on bases 2-1. Ooh, and Project doesn't even have one anymore. That base is just about to be mined out. Jumper now expanding to the other base the Project had been trying to expand to. I don't think that mine can quite see. Mines do have very small vision range. Maybe he'll see the probe. But it doesn't even look like Project wants to expand. He's just going in for one final all-in attack. Vultures and tanks and a science vessel is going to be very scary, but Jumper should be able to hold it off. And if Jumper has hold it off, he will certainly win this game, as Project does not seem like he really wants to expand. He is flooding another command center out there, but he won't be able to defend it with his army on the other side of the map. Oh, EMP going down on Zealots and Dragoons. And if he gets the other science vessel, oh, it's only at 5 health. Oh, he snipes it! There goes a science vessel, that's going to be a huge detriment. And there is an Arbiter here, so Project needs to be very careful with his scans. He doesn't have a huge number of command centers because he has so few bases. He needs to be very careful about his scans. And recall on top of the tank line. He does now get the scan down, but a lot of the tanks are going down. The vultures aren't covering the tanks, and there goes all the tanks but one. There's only a single left, and it's going to go down as well. Now with just vultures, it's almost guaranteed that this base will not go down. And Project supply dwindling under 100. He's losing the final vultures, trying to lay more mines, hoping that somehow Jumper manages to kill all of his units on these mines. But that's not going to happen. Oh! 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 Oh, that was bad. Could have been a lot worse, but still. That was like seven SCVs-ish. And the worst part is that the Zealots are following them, so they know exactly what's going on. They know that there's an expansion over here. Project's going to send his last few units to try to defend it. Under 80 supply now, but here comes Jumper coming in, and it looks like Jumper will once again upset Project in Gambit Cup. D-Matrix going down, desperation, just trying to keep his units alive. It's now under 70 compared to 142. Jumper now lapping Project in supply. And more importantly, Jumper has 2 mining bases, where Project has this one that he has just barely been able to hold on to. Ooh, that's interesting to note. Project with 3-3 upgrades. Jumper with 2-1. Clearly the upgrade oh. Please! Please, Jumper, don't end the game without throwing away more goons to mines. Oh, you don't want to hit that one too? Don't want to hit that one? Oh, of course you want to hit that one. Oh. No. No. Jumper Man. Jumper Man. This game would have been so lopsided if he did not lose, like, what, like 250 units worth of supply to mines this game? I think that's fair. 250 unit supply worth of units. Stasis going down. Just hitting a tank and some vultures. There really isn't much to stasis there. And Jumper's going to go in with his goons and zealots. And mines being laid down, but they might be a little bit too late. Mines now cleared out. Vultures cleared out. Just those two tanks left, and the Dragoons are going to be able to close very easily. Taking out the supporting units. Just that tank remains, and now these Dragoons will be able to shut down this expansion. Project will once again not be mining, or I guess it wouldn't be once again, but like for the first time, not be mining a fit completely. And just these red dots are all just spider mines. Nothing he can do damage with. Project losing his command center, does not have enough money for another command center at this time. He'll have to float one out or long distance mine or something. But here comes the rest of Project's units trying to kill off Jumpers, but now over 100 supply lead for Jumper. Is going to be forced to pull back because 3 siege tanks are still pretty strong. Ooh, nice EMP hitting everything of Jumpers, but even if Jumper does lose this army, it doesn't matter because he can just bring in more eventually. Repairing the command center as he floats it in. Where is the rest of Jumper's army? He's maxed, but he just has no army. Like, where is it? Is he carrier transition? No. I have no idea where his army is, but here's a recall. And that is going to clean up the last of Project's army that was trying to guard this base. SCV's confused as to which direction they should go, but they are going to be killed off. Project 34, 33, 31 supply. GG from Project. Jumper ties it up 1-1. Whoa! Sweet. I have 371 viewers. That is a new record for me. Woohoo! Next game. True Touch versus Gotunk. Alright, game number 3 on Jade. Top left, GT's True Touch. How do you capitalize that? Capital C. The other of GT's two Polish Zergs. Oh, we got some nice good banner going on before the game. And in the bottom left, we have Reps. Gotunk. He actually messaged me once to remind me to capitalize that N. I can so oblige. So, PBZ on Jade. As I said earlier, Gotunk was the player who 3-killed GT earlier in the season. And what? True Touch one of the people he... No, I don't think True Touch was one of the people he killed. It was Michael, it was Eric, and it was one other guy. Eric being the Japanese guy, who is not pronounced Eric, but I'm going to pronounce it Eric. I actually had that conversation with Dayfly, who is the manager for GT, where he messaged me after a cast, and he's like, hey, you know that's not pronounced Eric, right? Because his name is EEIC. And I said, yeah, but I'm not going to say EEIC every time, because I have a 3-syllable limit. And if I was if I would just try to pronounce EEIC phonetically, it would just be like, eek? And that sounds silly. I'm not going to say eek every time. So, spelling out what acronym EEIC stands for only compounds the problem. of now there's way too many syllables. So I'm just going to change one of those letters to an R, and it's Eric. And then Davefly said, huh, okay, that's reasonable. I'll go ask him what he wants you to pronounce his name as. But that was like a month ago, and he never got back to me, so I'm just going to assume that Eric is acceptable for him. Anyway, True Touch with, excuse me, True Touch went for a 12 hatch, same as South Park did. And Gotung saw it accordingly. Gonna be able to make the nice wall here. Forge on bottom, gateway. Jade, one of the easier maps to wall on, especially in this position. God. Somebody really gonna try to tell me that I'm pronouncing aluminum wrong? Because instead I could be British and add in an extra 2 syllables where they don't need to be added and say aluminium. Ew! Aren't I being fancy? Sounds silly. Aluminium is just a terrible way of saying that word. No, it's aluminum. It really is aluminum. Anyway, first 8 lings out for True Touch. Much like South Park, True Touch also a player who loves early lings. Maybe not quite as much, but still very much so. Is speed? I do that's not speed done. No, that's not speed. Okay. So 8 slow lings. The second cannon is going to be just a second too late. So these lings are going to be able to get a run by off. Probe's trying to block, but not quite getting the block off in time. And Gotung a second too late with that cannon, half a second late with the cannon, half a second late with his probes, and 3 lings are going to be able to sneak into the base. 2 probes down already, and a zealot sent down to try to deal with them, but how many more probes are going to be able to get? There is 3. Alright. Lings try to sneak in again, taking out those gas probes. Nope. Most important, they're not taking zealot hits. So they're regenerated. No, that one hasn't quite regenerated back, but almost regenerated to full life. And still being annoying. Sneaking in, trying to keep trying to get that gas probe, but not quite being able to finish it off every time. Now, getting another probe and pulling out. Yes, managing to get away without losing one of them. I do believe that is kill number 4. Certainly, the run-by has paid for itself already, and he could still get more kills at that. Sees the Stargate, sees the Citadel. So that scouting information also quite effective, and gets a 5th probe. Is going to cost him a Zergling, though. So down to just the 1. And now with only 1 Zergling, he's probably not going to be able to get any more kills. But he can keep it alive for a while longer and just continue to get scouting information, at least until the first Dragoon comes out, if he does it, if he did it perfectly. But going to lose that Zergling to a probe. Meanwhile, building 8 lings certainly did not slow down his economy. He went for a 12 hatch, not a 9 pool. So, layers up. Spire halfway done and already has his 3rd base over on this side of the map. Hatcheries, hatcheries 4 and 5 have also already started. Things looking rather good for True Touch at this point in the game. First Corsair going to kill off one of these Overlords. He did get a scout off just before the Zerglings killed it. So he hasn't quite, I don't think he has quite seen the Spire come up. But sacrificing a little bit of time to kill that Overlord, not going to hurt him. And he's going to be able to get that one too, most likely. Nah, the Scourge should probably pop out in time. And Gotung's going to pull back. Wait, what's wrong with the overlay? I don't know what's wrong with the overlay. I hope you're just saying that as a general statement, like you don't like something about the overlay, rather than it's actually making it so it's unable to be seen. Because I don't think the overlay's off. Should make it smaller. There we go. Yay! Solving problems. That was an easy one. Alright. Well, good SimCities for True Touch. Both these SimCities can be blocked off with eggs built here and here, just to make that extra tight. On this side, you have to be a little bit lucky for the larva to walk into this position, and then you can get it. But on this side, there will always be a larva along this wall, so you can always build an egg here, block that off. This one over here, same thing. There will always be a larva in here. And oh, DT. 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 Overlord speed is done. Are the Zerglings gonna be able to catch it? Catch it? No. DT just sneaking out there, but the next Overlord sees it. It doesn't seem like the Zerglings have an intent to pursue. Corsair fleet moving out once again, now with +1, so going to kill those overlords very quickly, and that is a very tight pack, so Scourge are going to have a hard time doing damage. So tight, in fact, did he trap a probe? No. Sometimes when you see Corsairs that compact, it's because the Protoss player built 2 pylons behind the mineral line and trapped a probe in there, so that you can do Mutalisk-esque micro, but without a slow overlord and with a probe instead. But no. Oh, Hatcher started for True Touch, and he is looking like he's going to be very safe going into the later stages of the game. Going out for a little bit of an attack here, not terribly strong. There's an okay number of Hydralisks here, but Gotung shouldn't have too much trouble defending at all, especially with its storms. Assume storm is done. Yes, it is. So, as I said, True Touch getting up the 4th base, so behind 2 SimCities, it's just going to be really hard for Gotung to break that with a normal army. 1 second. There we go. So. Alright. Now. There's Gotung's robo facility. It's a little bit early for the robo facility just because Protosses tend to wait until they actually see the lurkers before getting the observer, which can put them in some bad situations sometimes, just being that absolutely reactionary. But he's going to have observers out just as soon as those first lurkers pop if he really wants them that fast, and it looks like he is going to get them there. So, Gotung will not be falling into that trap, and he's actually pushing out with a very scary composition, 2 High Templar and a whole mess of speedlots. Very nice storm going down, killing off a lot of Hydralisks. Second one doing okay damage as well. And Gotung did good damage with that army. I don't even know if he lost a zealot. Okay, well, he's going to lose some zealots here, but still doing... No, he's not going to lose a zealot there. Just backing off. Oh, man, those zealots have so many health. Or so much health. So many hit points, I guess, would be the correct way to say that. Anyway, shuttle loaded up with 2 DTs. An observer coming up behind that, so... how effective will the DT drop be? There already is a spore colony here, so probably not going to be able to do too much. It just depends on how long it takes True Touch to get an army back there, but there is no army to try to pull back. He doesn't have anything at his front. So he does have a big army outside threatening Gotung, but how exactly is he going to deal with DTs? There's a sunken colony here, but 2 DTs should be able to kill it if he just went for it. I guess he doesn't really want to attack the sunken colony. Okay, now going in with 1 DT, just trying to pick off some drones instead. And the drones are not being pulled back. Ah, there we go. They see the DT. Okay. So instead of going actually for an attack and trying to do a lot of damage there, he's just going to send in 1 DT, get some drone kills, and then later he'll send in the other DT and get another 5. Or at least that is the idea. Alright. Where are the storms? Or how many storms at least? Okay, energy upgrade's done. So these Templars only have, okay, so 4 storms between them. And 4 storms are not going to be able to handle quite that many yet. Oops. Oops. Silly Dragoons. You can't walk over mountains. What type of silly unit would be able to walk up and down cliffs? What type of crazy idea is that? Oh man, 4 legs like that going up and down cliffs? Who could even imagine such a thing? Anyway, Gotung, he needs to place these squirms really carefully. True Touch has already spread out his lurker so that it's going to be hard to even get 2 with a single storm, but he is hitting nice spots, so you can at least hit 2 at a time, but there are so many lurkers here that he needs to just continue to have very nice storm placement. That one only hitting 1. Now sending out the Zealots. The Zealots are going to be picked off pretty quickly, and Gotung, he can break this, but it's just going to be pretty costly to him. Ooh, losing a... Oh, that's not good. Losing 3 High Templar. Losing some Dragoons and some Zealots to clear out this would be worth it, but losing most of your High Templars at this stage, not good. Well, he finally can't get out enough with the Dragoons, and here comes True Touch to try to counter it. He does have to worry about the high ground, though, so Gotung should not have a problem cleaning up the remainder of these units with his goons. There is still a lurker over here, though. There we go. Is that the final storm? No, this High Templar was at full energy, so it still has 2 more. And now he's marching across the map, but he's marching across the map again with only a single High Templar, which means that it's going to be really hard for him to win engagements. He needs to be really careful about where he picks his battles. And just avoid stuff like this. Just packs of cracklings are going to be able to do a lot of damage. Gotung didn't even have many Zealots with that army. So just Zerglings like that can do so much. But Gotung's continuing to press in. I don't think he's going to be able to get too much here, though. As we saw, Crackling already done pretty good upgrades for True Touch and still the nice SimCity there. And now almost enough energy for another storm, but not quite. Does manage to take out the lurker. There's a second lurker back here, and Gotung might be. Is Gotung actually just going to push through this? Is he going to be able to push through this with no swarm or storm? More Lings coming out. The final Sunken Colony is about to go down. The final Sunken Colony does go down, but there are some more reinforcements coming in, and storm on the drones. Oh! 26 kill High Templar. Very nice. Just waiting long enough to walk the Templar in. Oh, so many drone kills. Very nice. And still a couple Zealots left to do a little bit more damage, but that would have been a bad attack if not for that storm that killed 9 drones. That in and of itself made the attack worth it. True Touch has Ultralisks. Alright, now starting to incorporate some more high Templars into his army, as he did get the energy upgrade for the Templar. So now, after he builds a Templar and gets it to the battlefield, they'll all have at least 1 storm. He doesn't need to worry about engaging with 63 energy Templar. But he has such a small army right here. These Ultralisks are going to be a little bit too hard for him to kill. Yeah. Well, that attack was good from Gotung. He now really should just be pulling back. He needs a much bigger army to try to engage the Zerg, because the Zerg in small numbers like this can easily win when those storms are not as effective. Probe moving out from Gotung to try to expand, but gets sniped by Zerglings. And, oh, there's a second probe already down there. But he's going to have a little bit of trouble here defending against this army from True Touch that's going to try to shut down the expansion. Now coming back up to deal with these units that were on the intercept. Scourge sniping the Observer, but there aren't any lurkers here, so the Observer isn't terribly important, and essentially an army trade. Now retreating back to the cannon wall to help out. Oh, again, losing those High Templar. Those are so expensive to lose. But what matters is that he did keep that Nexus going, and he really just needs to expand there. Oh, losing another High Templar, man. Gotung a little bit, just ever so slightly careless with his High Templars this game. And when your opponent's going for a crack ultra composition, storms are so important. Oh, even defilers now. And True Touch is being very aggressive for how little supply he has. He's only at 80 supply, and oh, the probe transfer! Oh no, the probe transfer! They're gonna transfer to Cracklings! Cracklings, not like Dragoons, they eat up breaker transfers. And oh, all the probes are gonna die. The thing got canceled anyway, so it's not as if he should have been transferring it. Oh no! Oh no! Stop! Stop transferring! Stop! Please stop! What? Why aren't? Okay, those Cracklings should have killed all of them. They're just gonna kill him on the return trip. Okay. Okay. So Gotung has no more probes. Gotung's not mining. Oh man. Gotung's gonna lose. Gotung has 50 supply and isn't mining. Never a good position to be in. Now moving out with Archons, just to try to make it so that he can expand, but he can't even expand. He has to long distance mine at this point. He doesn't have enough money for a Nexus. Yeah, and True Touch's economy is still pretty damn good. Looks like he's trying to sneak in with more units back here. But you gotta lose the shuttle now. And he probably won't be able to break the front with the cannons, but he doesn't need to. He has 27 supply. GG from Gotung. True Touch takes it and breaks the series 2-1. Good stuff. Alright, next game. They're called Cracklings because when they attack, like, the animation doesn't look smooth because Brood War wasn't meant to run on that fast. So when it's turned up beyond fastest for the attack, it just kind of looks janky and it makes it look like the Zerglings are on crack. Crack is an American nickname for cocaine. I don't know if they call it crack in other countries. Never really thought about what drugs were called in other countries. But that's why they're called Cracklings. Also, Cracklings are apparently a thing. I've never had them before, but they're like deep fried pork fat or something. I don't know. I should try Cracklings at one point. Before I die, eventually I will have Cracklings. So, the top position, we have Reps DeWalt. DeWalt. Whoops, no D. I think I hit Control D instead of Shift D. Oops. But we have Reps DeWalt as the yellow Protoss. And in the left position, we have GT's Michael. So, Michael, along with Snitzel, one of GT's best players. Excuse me. One of GT's best players. Probably, with Oya gone, he is the best player who likes to play a cheesy style, by leaps and bounds. If Oya was here, he'd be the best player who likes to play cheesy by a little bit. But since Oya's inactive, yeah, Michael has taken the throne of demonstrating that cheese is viable at super high levels. And DeWalt is Rep's very solid Protoss player. It is remarkable how close his overall record is to 50-50 in like everything he does. And 50-50 is not bad considering that he has to play really good people in everything he does, but it's just kind of, it's rather amusing. I believe his overall record when I was compiling stats was 63 and 61. Like, over 124 games, you're 63 and 61? That's weird. Anyway, Michael with a 12 pool, and now throwing down the hatchery. DeWalt scouts it last, though. Michael will also scout last as he sent his Overlord in the wrong direction. And DeWalt... Okay, he's going to go for the wall where he puts the forge here, and then he can put a gateway here, and then cannon in this little crevice. The forge is a little bit exposed, putting it that far forward, but it's still a pretty good wall for this map. That cannon looks a little bit too far down. I hope he can fit a gateway in here. But all of a sudden, I don't know if he can fit a gateway in here. I guess we're going to find out, but... Oh. Alright, my bad. That was an overpull. Oops. Overpull. Every time, man, I want to call the overpull a 12 pool. But it's not. It's an overpull. Not terribly different, but gets the lings out faster. Not really going to be able to use them, though, to attack the wall. DeWalt threw down early cannons, and he will be able to fit the gateway in here. Okay. So he does have room for the cannon to be placed there. Does have room for the gateway in that little crevice. And expanding behind that. So, things looking pretty good for DeWalt so far. That was weird how the creep spread, because that was not the limit of where you can build, but it's just in the patterns that Brood War goes, it just goes one by one on a side, and then starts over at a new place. But for wilds, it won't extend on one side, and it makes weird half circles. So DeWalt gets in. He sees the Hydralisk Den before lair, and Michael has taken this hidden expansion over here, but it's a hidden expansion very close to his opponent. It means that he's going to be able to rally in Hydralisks better than if it was a normally placed expansion down here. So, well, looks like a Hydra bust. At least that's what it would appear to be. And DeWalt did scout it out. He's now sending out a probe looking for another expansion to look if it's 2 hatch or 3 hatch. And looks like the probe will in fact be able to get over here. If it was 2 hatch, then it would have been very likely have been lurkers. But since it's 3 hatcheries, more likely to be Hydralisks. And as we see, he's getting Hydralisk range, so almost certainly going to be Hydralisks instead of lurkers. But DeWalt has plenty of time to throw down cannons. Now he has to play the dangerous game. Don't over-cannon and completely screw up your economy, but at the same time, don't under-cannon and immediately lose the game. Well, drone's coming back in, going to just miss out on the first Hydralisks popping, but still, DeWalt pretty much has perfect knowledge at this point of exactly what Michael's going for. We've seen this from players before. You get the perfect scout, you know exactly what's coming, but then you just skimp ever so slightly too much, and you don't quite have enough to defend. The issue with this wall is going to be that this forge is so far forward that it's going to be very easy to snipe, and then you can pick off this cannon too. And then after you pick off this all 3 of these front buildings are going to be very easy to pick off. And then DeWalt's going to be relying on this very expansive part, which is still a very nice place to put cannons. You're going to have a very thin wall. You can stretch your cannons all the way across. But since range is done, he shouldn't lose any Hydralisks like that. There we go. See, Michael is paying attention, because I was describing how units bug out, but he keeps resetting his Hydralisks, so that when they want to target a cannon that's out of range, they then reset themselves and start shooting at the forge. He could get that Hydralisk a little bit closer to help out. Interesting, DeWalt didn't even go for +1, just accepted the fact that he wasn't going to be able to get it. And rebuilding the forge in his main. I'm going to need that forge to be able to throw down more cannons. He only has 4, which is relatively low. And there's a DT. Michael needs to snipe that DT. No, Michael does not snipe the DT, and that's going to be a huge issue, as he does not have a lair. Oh, wow. Oh, wow, he's going off with 5 hatches. 5 hatch before lair. There's a lair on the way, but still, Overlord speed not for a while. So he's going to have to be very careful about not taking too much damage from DTs around the map. Now... This is almost feeling reminiscent of Best versus Hojja, because Michael Michael went for obviously very fast Hydralisk dead, then threw down a lot of hatcheries, but he isn't getting a huge number of Hydralisks and not like putting pressure on. And this is what Hojja did. He got the very fast Hydralisk dead, he tricked Best into suspecting a Hydralisk bust, and then didn't Hydralisk bust and completely steamrolled Best because he had amazing upgrades. It's not too late for him to just turn on the Hydralisks. And that might be what he's doing. He does have a good number of Hydralisks coming out now. But something to keep in mind, he might have been inspired by his Korean fellow Zerg. Well, the key is going to be for DeWalt to keep... excuse me. The key is going to be for DeWalt to keep his Corsairs out on the map. He needs to get lots of vision of what's going on at Michael's base, because he needs to know exactly what he needs to defend for. If he overcommits, it's always going to put him behind, but if he doesn't build enough cannons, then obviously he's going to die. So, Michael coming in with Hydralisks, looking like he's going to go for a little bit of a surround here, trying to snipe some Templar. 1 Templar, 2 Templar, and the Storm goes down, but he still loses the Templar. Nice snipe from Michael, taking out those Templar, meaning that this attack is going to be very weak. Doesn't even have +1 to go along with it, and if that was going to do any damage to Michael at a later point, it was going to rely on the Storms. And without Storms, he pretty much can't do anything. Now just building a lot of Overlords. 5 Overlords. And Hydralisks at the top of the hill are going to be able to pick off some of the Zealots to come up, but the rest of the Zealots will eventually get up there. How much longer till +1 is done, as speed has finished? +1 still has a ways to go. Remember, he didn't ever build it at the first forge. He only started it after getting his second one. And, ooh, just barely missing out on killing that Dark Templar. And now it might be able to get that hatchery? No, it's not gonna be able to get that hatchery. I don't think so. I don't think so. No. 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 Okay, there we go. Took a little bit longer than it probably should have. Well, it took exactly that long it should have. But that Overlord is slow. First lurkers are out for Michael. Needed to wait for his Overlords to pop before he could start making them. So, big batch of them coming out. And now this is going to be a pretty scary attack. DeWalt trying to take a third. There's no way he can defend against that. And oh, he's loading up for a drop. Oh, he definitely needs these High Templar back here to defend against it. He does have a robo facility and observatory, so he can get observers out, but just an observer is not going to be enough against that many lurkers. He needs Storm, and he needs to hope Michael clumps them up. He does now see the lurkers. His units are retreating. Is he flying back with the shuttle? No, he's not flying back with the shuttle. He's still going to go in for the storm drops. And nothing. Does not get the storm drop off. Does drop both of the zealots, though, to try to deal with the sunken colony. Now trying to storm drop this base. Still not a lot to storm. And gets only a couple drones. Michael stepping forward with the Hydralisk. Where are the lurkers? There are the lurkers. He needs to get the lurkers into the battle, as DeWalt has a lot of zealots. There is an observer overhead, and Michael does not have a spire to try to snipe it, so he's just going to have to deal with that observer. But still, even if you can see the lurkers, it's a different matter of whether you can kill them or not. Still a Templar left in that shuttle. Oh, losing yet another High Templar. There is only a single High Templar back here to try to defend, and yet more lurkers are morphing. Overlord speed finally done, so he can take out that observer. Oh man, he needs more storm. See, at least he doesn't even have High Templar on the way. I'm really questioning his decision to not make a lot of High Templar at this point. I don't know how he's planning on dealing with 14 lurkers and lots of Hydralisks. Goons seem to be getting confused once again. I think that cannon is going to be a little bit too much of a problem to... I don't think he can quite get his lurkers into a position to attack the gateway and not be hit by that cannon. Even though that lurkers have pretty good range compared to cannons when taking out front buildings like that. That one cannon is just a little bit too far forward. The building exit is blocked. Oh. Building exit's blocked. You can't make goons out of that gateway, silly. You can only make zealots out of there. DeWalt made a little bit of a boo-boo. That's fine. Still chilling there with a very scary dropship. And Michael's even putting an Overlord by it just to see it when it moves out, if he has amazing reaction time to try to snipe it. But this is a very scary contain at this point. DeWalt's all running on empty at both of his bases, and I don't know how he's going to be able to break out against that. That's so many lurkers. So many lurkers. Well, going in for a 4 zealot drop, but it gets scouted and sniped by the Hydralisks. Very nice. I mean, they're sufficiently clumped up that maybe with lots and lots and lots of storm, if he like only made High Templar now until 180 supply, and then just stormed everything. But that's gonna haunt my dreams. Michael very effectively turning the dunes of Aztec into Swiss cheese with all of these holes. And here comes DeWalt to try to break it. He has a single High Templar. He has one High Templar that is only going to get one storm off. That's not going to cut it. That's not even going to come close to cutting it. Why do you not have more Templar? Okay, there's one more Templar. Seriously, why do you not have like 5 Templar at this point in the game? I don't understand your hatred of these majestic, noble creatures that can cast lightning from the sky that somehow shoots underground. They fucking have lightning that hits underground. How does that work? And why are you not using them? I don't know. These are answers. These are questions we may never get the answer to. But DeWalt just needs to keep throwing units at it because he needs to expand like right now. If he started the Nexus now, it would finish just about the time that both of his expansions are going to run out of money. But he cannot start a Nexus now. It is going to take him significantly longer than that. Oh, jeez. He only broke through like the tip of the iceberg of this lurker contain. It just keeps going. It just keeps going, and he's already thrown away like half of his units. Not. Dark Templar? Okay. Okay, that's something. I mean, they're overlords, so the Dark Templars won't really help, but... I mean, at least you're getting kind of close to High Templar, right? I mean, you only have one. You even got the energy upgrade for them, but you only have one! Anyway, all of them coming out. As long as that Overlord lives, the Dark Templar shouldn't be a really big issue. Oh. The Overlord does go down, and there's still 3 Dark Templar left. Michael needs another Overlord. He needs to send the Overlord in. Oh, there's the Overlord. Okay, so they managed to get one in the back. He's made a pretty good dent at this point. He's made a pretty good dent. I mean, he's behind by 40 supply and not mining, so a dent isn't really going to cut it. And oh god. Oh, what are you doing? Why? Why? I think that's Dolph's version of a GG. There is no... Yeah, okay. He just wanted to watch guys die to spikes. Completely reasonable. Michael takes game number 4, and GT is 1 game away from punching their ticket to the finals. Get some of that money. Reps is not looking good. Alright. Largo versus Sneasel. Or Snitzel. No, it's Snitzel, right? I couldn't remember which one it was spelled like and which one it said like. It's definitely said like Snitzel. Okay, let's go. That's a tough order for Largo, man. That is a very tough order. In the top position, we have GT Snitzel. That's a capital S. It is, in fact, a capital S. And he is the white Protoss. And in the bottom location, we have Reps Largo. Largo? Is that correct capitalization? Indeed it is. Reps Largo, who needs to win to keep Reps hope alive. This, actually, coincidentally, is a preview of ISL coming up Sunday. This group should be casted Sunday. It's Sneasel, Largo, Must, and Modesty. Pretty sure, right? Yeah, it's Largo. So, interesting coincidence that they're going to meet each other today. Maybe play a little bit of mind games with each other. Try to psych each other out for their group. 2 of them do advance, so theoretically they could both advance, but Must is a good player, so it's hard to just count him out. Oh, and Modesty too. He's in chat. Oh. Sorry, Modesty. So. Oh, okay, then he didn't hear any of that. That's cool. I was totally not inadvertently bad-mouthing you. That was not going on. Oh, great timing. Great timing. So, anyway, as a little bit of context for the situation, Deffy was talking about how all of his players were getting freaked out because it's Friday the 13th. But was it True Touch or South Park? I can't remember them. I can't remember now. Checking. It was, okay, excuse me, it was Plumum who said all of his players were scared. Deafy and Plumum have the same set of players, so that doesn't change. And it was South Park who was saying that he was really psyched that they were playing on Friday the 13th, because that was quote-unquote a good day for GT. Seems to be working out so far. I don't know if I'd really call anything unlucky. I mean, that lurker field was pretty horrifying. So maybe that's kind of Friday the 13th-ish. If Jumper had lost his game, I bet he would be pissing himself at the thought of spider mines. Anyway, 14cc from Largo, but an in-base 14cc, which is slightly peculiar. But, whatever, it's fine. And first Goon gonna come out and try to do something to annoy it, but the bunker should be able to finish. Yeah, the bunker should be able to finish before that Dragoon could kill off the SCV. So can get some Marines into that and hide the SCV. Oh, he's still gonna get away anyway. Okay, that's fine. I was gonna say if the SCV had hidden the bunker, he would have lived, but the Dragoon was unable to kill it anyway. Going to need to pull some SCVs pretty soon, as range is getting close to finished, but not quite yet. Meanwhile, add-on about 70% of the way done, so siege tanks won't be too far behind that. Largo certainly in no immediate danger. And there we go. Okay. You do need one SCV for every Goon, and that tends to just about even it out. So, he had one pulled initially, but then pulling, in fact, pulling two more. As he will need that second one for when this finishes. The problem with having more SCVs than Dragoons is that you have to constantly be spam clicking the bunker, which can be a little bit annoying. But now the numbers are even again. So, you'll just continue to repair that away. And the first tank finally out. Siege mode getting pretty close. I'm not sure if a siege tank here can quite hit. It won't be able to hit this Goon, but should be able to hit some of these closer Goons. It doesn't matter. He's going to siege it up on the low ground anyway. And there we go. Siege mode done. Dragoons are going to be forced back. Oh wow. Snitzel, Snitzel knows exactly where to pull his Goons back to. Wow. Very nice. Alright. So, Snitzel now getting his Robo. Actually got Citadel before Robo? Citadel... You got a third Nexus, and then a Citadel, and then a Robo. What is he gonna do with this vast Citadel? Templar Archives? Okay. With a Stargate, or is it for DTs? This would be pretty late for DT drop. That couldn't be a DT drop. There's not a Stargate going down though, so it's not as if it's going for 3 base Arbiter. And a very fast 3 base Arbiter at that. Huh. Well, he's not making a shuttle. Is it for High Templar? Snitzel does like High Templar a little bit more. No, it is for DTs. Okay, so just for normal DTs and no shuttle to carry them around in. Alright. Anyway, Largo already has some turrets up, and is getting his academy. So just running DTs up the front isn't going to do a whole lot. I'm interested to see what Schnitzel wants to do with 2 DTs. I have no idea. I mean, he might be able to be annoying with them later in the game, but why did you need to get the Templar Archives that fast? Well, leg speed's on the way. Is there like... No. Even if he was able to somehow magically snipe that turret and then get DTs into the natural, there's scan. Perplexing. Schnitzel, ooh, alright. Doing a good job of disrupting Vulture movement in the middle of the map and not taking mine hits. But Largo is eventually going to be able to get the Vultures out. Start laying down some mines. Hopefully Schnitzel's a little bit better about this than Jumper was. And does not take an absurd number of mine hits. Ooh. Largo trying to be fancy with his Vultures, and no. He's not going to lose any of them to that goon. I mean, all of them are yellow-red health. And he loses 3 of them anyway, but still. Being fancy against one Dragoon. Pretty cool. I don't know, man. I guess he took the really early expansion, and if Largo had gone to attack to try to punish that, having those DTs would have made it hard for Largo, because if he had gone for an attack, then he wouldn't have gotten Academy as fast, so he wouldn't have had scan. Maybe it was just a way of taking a safe third. That seems to make the most sense at this point. Anyway, Arbiter's now on the way. And Terran, I don't think Terran quite has a starport up yet, right? Nope, no starport. Oh, and there go the DTs, along with 2 zealots. So sad. Anyway, Largo just being able to barely thread the needle there with these Vultures sneaking around the Protoss army and now getting them into the natural, but a wave of speed lots coming to stop them. Still managing to get 3 up into the base, so a chance for them to do some damage here. Getting a little bit caught, but finally manages to get to the probes. And now should be able to get some kills here. Oh, but they're all invisible. That's a shame. Zealot's coming in though, going to clear out the mines before the probes can get back there. No, not a whole lot of damage, and wow, he is transferring those really far away. I guess he just wanted to transfer probes anyway. But transferring them now to this expansion, as it is coming up pretty soon. Anyway, Largo with his supply depot wall. It looks like he's pretty content in slowly but surely working his way down to this 4th base. Now establishing turrets down here, landing the command center. So Largo seems all snug on his side of the map. That's +1 armor researching now. Snitzel coming around from the top side to try to do a little bit of damage here. And ooh, pretty good mine hits on both players there. And yet more supply depots coming down from Largo. The supply depots do two things. First, they can mess up a little bit of unit AI. Either the units will straight up be attacking the supply depots, or they will stop attacking at all because they were attacking supply depots and then got distracted. And the second thing that they do is that when their zealots are streaming down, it messes up zealot pathing. So they clump up a little bit more. It takes them a little bit longer to close in with the tanks, and you can do a little bit more splash damage to them. Apparently he doesn't have vision up on the high ground, so he can actually shoot at anything until the scan comes down. Doing a good job. Most of the zealots are dying, and these dragoons are just getting clumped up at the top. They're so much damage is being eaten up by these supply depots. They're serving their job brilliantly. And actually, SCV repairing one of them. But that's going to hold Snitzel off. He really cannot break that with the army he has at the moment. Good defense set up by Largo. I think that Snitzel's best option at this point is just to attempt to expand a lot and try to defend against drop harass from Largo here. But Largo's playing this very well. So, more vultures on the other side of the map. Largo, so far doing a pretty good job with his vultures. Not the, not like Project in his mine spreadage, but still good by the standards of most Terrans. And, very close to taking a lot of these. Why are you bringing a probe? I don't know. I do not know. Triple forge up for Snitzel, getting all three upgrades at once. And he is at 110 right now, so he'll be at 221 in the near future. Meanwhile, Largo continuing to rebuild his supply depot wall down here. Oh, yes. This is the way everybody played StarCraft when they first played in the campaign. You just built a wall of supply depots. Oh, it worked then. Why shouldn't it work now? Anyway, Largo... Is Largo now moving out? Yes, Largo now moving out, having a little bit of trouble getting across that double bridge. And oh, Snitzel's going to attack at a very nice time here before the tanks can come up. So he's going to be able to get a lot of vulture kills and still be able to close with the tanks. So a very nice timing from Snitzel, realizing when he needed to push out, and he's going to really be able to punish Largo here. But Largo does have a good number of units, so he should be able to do some good damage of his own. The Dragoons are pretty clumped up now, and this is the part where the Dragoons start dying very quickly, but there just aren't enough siege tanks to punish how clumped up these goons are. There's so much stasis going down, and Snitzel's actually going to be able to do a lot of damage here. Is he going to keep the Dragoons around? No, it looks like his Dragoons are actually moving out. It seems like he wants to try to take out the mineral only at this time, while a lot of Largo's army is tied up. There are only a couple siege tanks here to defend, and those are going to go down pretty quickly, even Storm. To help with that, Arbiter should probably pull back before he gets himself killed. Nope, gonna die. And will these Dragoons actually be able to take out the base? Getting a little bit distracted, and no, not even going to go for the mineral only. Or some of them are. Some of them are going to go down and try to attack this base. A little bit of split between the army. Focusing down the comstat? I'm not sure if I understand the reason for focusing down the comstat, but now focusing down the command center itself, going to lose those Dragoons to siege tank fire, and there were a couple siege tanks down here to clean up the ones that went in that direction. So wasn't quite able to take out a base, but still did a lot of good damage and stopped Largo's push. So 221 for Snitzel with 332 on the way. Largo at 2-1, and 2 armor about to finish. Hasn't started 3 armor. I have to assume he has EMP. Alright. So, Largo's just going to have a really hard time pushing out. Circuit Breaker is a very open map in the middle, and it's not even terribly easy to hug along a side and just kind of work your way up slowly. It's harder than Fighting Spirit is in that regard. So, since Largo's been so repressed back, he doesn't have any mind presence anymore. Snitzel did a good job of clearing that out. Whenever Largo does try to make his push, as we just saw earlier when it got taken out, and now he's going for attempt number 2, it's going to be really hard for him to move across the middle of the map. If he can get across the map, then he's in great position, but if he can't, then he's just behind on bases against Protoss, who can pretty much trade armies with him. And now here comes the flank, and this is what I meant by it's hard to move across the map. Opportunities for flanks are so prevalent. The vultures, the vultures are going to go down to zealots, and the rest of the zealots close in on the tanks, and the flank works out brilliantly. Largo loses his army and forced to retreat with just a tank. And no. Oh. Man, those spider mines got really caught up on those vultures. Very fortunate for him. Not a lot of defenses at this base, but still very nicely placed siege tanks hiding behind all of those supply depots. And oh! Man, the spider mine was coming around to the other side. I thought for sure it was going to detonate on everything, but no, it doesn't. Still, good storms going down, or at least one good storm going down. I'm going to be able to clean up those siege tanks. The dragoons should be able to move in and clean up the rest. Largo trying to save this base. Oh, Largo will be able to get enough reinforcements to save it. I thought that Snitzel could do a little bit more damage here. Unfortunately, he couldn't quite get that Templar with enough energy down to storm the rest of the SCVs. But still, good damage done and pulling back. And the important thing is that he's just stopping Largo every time Largo tries to push. And if he can continue to do that, this game is easily going to be won by Snitzel. Once again, already back at 200-200. Pretty solid bank to remax it immediately. And great upgrades. 332. Is he getting extra shield? No, he's not getting the extra shield upgrade. But still, 322 great upgrades. Only 2-2 for Largo. Still pretty good, but not quite as high. Ooh, taking a lot of mine hits here. But it doesn't matter. Snitzel just has enough stuff. He's gonna once again power through Largo. Once again, kill everything Largo has on the far side of the double bridge. And he's going to stop Largo from mining from this base. Meanwhile, taking an expansion over here, even throwing down gateways, that is very aggressive from Snitzel. Normally you only do that for one of the neutral bases, but Snitzel's going to do it at the second one. It's going to make it that if Largo wants to attack in this direction with a big army, it will be harder to take this out, as Snitzel can continuously reinforce from that position. Ooh. More mine hits? More mine hits. Man. Way too many of those. Anyway, lots of speed lots coming down. Are they going to be enough, though? He did lose a bunch of them to mines, or at least they took a lot of damage. Where's one siege tank? The other siege tank is going to go down. But just a couple of dragoons left. So, reinforcement siege tanks easily going to be able to clean that up. Meanwhile, vultures coming up, and they're going to depower that pylon before too many units could get out. Are these two dragoons going to be enough? It's going to be pretty close, actually. And Snitzel's not microing, so the mines are actually going to do most of the damage here. And that base will once again be shut down. Oh, no! Snitzel! Oh, man. Day of walking through mines. GT needs to host practices of just mine clearing, because that is all they need to do before their Protosses are actually invincible. So Snitzel still maintaining maxed. Largo at around 150, but Largo's going to be mined out rather quickly here. This base almost gone, and then it's just this one, with it being very difficult for him to take another. Could try this one, but it's really exposed. Again, could try this one, but too close to his opponent. And things are starting to look pretty dire for the Reps Terran here. The Reps Terran who needs to win to advance to prevent GT from advancing. They are playing for their Gambit Cup lives. Why are these? Oh, he transferred probes a little bit too quickly to that base. Schnitzel moving in once again trying to take out this base, but Largo has very nice defenses. Normally this is a pretty, a rather vulnerable base, just because you get to attack downhill. Ooh, even a recall, because you get to attack downhill. But Largo, with these supply depots, have been able to hold off much bigger armies, even bigger armies than he normally would be able to. Command Center lifts up, and now the SCVs are not mining moving, they're just kind of fanning out. He's actually going to lose a lot of the SCVs. He looks like he's going to lose the Command Center too, maybe, possibly getting pretty close down there. Are SCVs trying to repair, or are they trying to mine? Oh, it looks like the SCVs are trying to mine. Storm going down on the science vessel, and a lot of SCVs dead. Mining has stopped. Largo just has that left, and it looks like Schnitzel's going to back up, with some of his army at least. Realizes he has this, he took out the base, and that's what he needed to do. Can stick around to take out some supply depots and some comm stats, but that's not going to be terribly important here. That is not a lot of minerals. Looks like Largo has, I guess it's a hidden expansion, because Schnitzel doesn't know about it, and Schnitzel can easily kill it if he did know about it. But with a lot of Schnitzel's army focused on taking out that fourth base, Largo has been able to advance out into the middle of the map and gotten farther than at any other point he has in this game. So, ooh, Schnitzel once again going from attack from multiple angles, but this time not quite orchestrating it as cleanly. Certain parts coming in a little bit before other parts, and that can be really devastating to come in piecemeal. Still, the majority of his army does attack the back, where the vultures are not covering the tanks, and oh, does not storm. That would have been a great opportunity to storm. So Schnitzel will lose that engagement. Largo down to only 110 supply, not mining with very much, and oh, Schnitzel does realize there's a base here. Oh, Largo gonna have to send something to defend it, but he does not have a lot of units to spare as he makes his push towards this side of the map. I mean, even if he takes it out, there's still this down here. And Largo is now... no. Temporarily not mining. He does have a little bit of mining down here, so we can't say he's not mining. He does have a little bit. He does have a little bit. But Schnitzel now with a 60 supply lead. It's okay to let Protoss have a little bit of supply lead, but 60 starting to get into that unwinnable position as long as Protoss doesn't make mistakes, and Schnitzel is one hell of a Protoss. Yeah, Largo is in a good position with this army. He has moved it most of the way across the map. He just needs to do a lot of damage with this push. And that's a lot of tanks. There's a good number of vultures here. He could theoretically do some good damage. But I think Schnitzel is just too good to allow Terran to come back like that. He knows how he needs to attack. He knows how to get surrounds. He knows how to abuse the deficiencies with the Terran army like this. And here comes the surround. Units coming in from all angles from Schnitzel. Schnitzel stasis is going down on the science vessels. Not quite all of them, but getting a lot of tanks as well. And now coming in, crushing the Terran army. Terran supply falling so quickly. And not even... Oh, it's stasis. I didn't even realize that one wasn't stasis and that one wasn't. But crushing most of the army. 180 supply compared to only 83. Now completely able to take out Largo's last mining expansion with a huge goon force. Does Largo have enough to stop this? He said he can vultures to try to delay. The mines may get a hit or two, but I don't think it's going to be enough. Using arbiters to try to snipe the siege tank. It's going to be a very slow process to try to snipe that siege tank. Both players with perfect upgrades at this point. 3-3 and 3-3-3. But this base is going down, and that's what well, maybe not. maybe this base won't quite fall yet. There are only 6 goons left. Reinforcements now coming in for Schnitzel, but not a whole lot. The mines are cleared out. eBay taken down. And this base is, in fact, going to go down. Command center is already on fire. It's not going to take very long. And GG from Largo. Schnitzel takes game number 5. And GT will win it 4-1. And move on to play the winner of SAS and NB, which will be played Sunday. SAS/NB were the winners of last Gambit Cup. Once friends, now enemies. Only one can advance. So, that is the end of the cast for today. As I said, SAS NB, the other semifinal match will be played Sunday, 17 CET, I do believe. Other than that, we have ISL coming up 21 CET tomorrow. Me and Elegant, we're co-casting. We have sound issues worked out. It's going to be awesome. So excited for the Cashew D-Note Pike group. Hopefully Pike worked out his issues with partying. Hopefully he can party after and not before. But still, that's going to be a great group. Going to be with Elegant. Elegant's a great caster. And then more ISL Sunday, same time, 21 CET. The other 2 groups, 7 and 8. At least I think that's how the schedule is working out. Thank you to the sponsors. Twitch TV, which is the service you're watching it on. Very nice service indeed. They recently updated their iPhone app, and I do love Twitch TV on the iPhone. It's so nice. If you have an iPhone, you should download that app. Nebopolis and Prowler, the 2 individual sponsors. And thank you to AWA for organizing. Thank you to all of you for watching. I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye.